teachers, I'm happy to be part of the Learn, Train and Share series where I'll be showing you today how you can use Spiral for more effective ways of teaching and learning. Spiral is a great tool especially for collaborative learning, and it's been especially helpful for me since the start of our distance learning program. Spiral can be used on any device with a working internet connection. It also provides a different approach by encouraging students to actively involve themselves in the lesson. Let's proceed to the tutorial.
So we'll start this tutorial by logging into spiral.ac, and that's what it looks like. You sign up for a free 30-day trial and click on register and sign up as a teacher. Here you can sign in or sign up using your email. You can alternatively sign up using your Google account, Facebook, Twitter, and these other two accounts. So since I've already registered, I'm going to go back to this tab and I will take you to my home page. So within Spiral, you have 5 different tools. We're only going to be looking at 3 today, as the other 2, which is Quickfire Lite and Team Up, I feel can mostly be used better within the classroom. So this is something that you can consider thinking about using in your classes once we're all back. Quickfire Lite is a verbal Q&A where you assign a question to the students and verbally, and they can type in their answers and you can check it. So it's a really good live FA option. Team Up collaborative project tool is a really innovative tool where you assign the whole class a project. You may assign different tasks to each group, and each student works individually on their own device as well as collaboratively. So they're all working on the same presentation together, but they're working on individual slides at the same time. So it's individual and collaborative at the same time, which is really nice. But for our distance learning program, I'm going to be talking mostly about Quickfire, Discuss interactive presentation, and Clip video Q&A. So I'm going to click on Launch Quickfire. Now, Launch Quickfire is a great tool if you are planning a live FA or even assigning homework for your students. So it takes you to the Plan Your Lesson page where you can give your activity the title. So I will say Bystander Intervention. Create a question. Once you create a question, you can choose from so many different options. You can choose open-ended questions. You can choose close-ended questions. You can choose a poll even. And you can add choices as well. Multiple choice is something I use very often. Canvas is interesting. You can ask them a question and they'll be able to draw the answer on Canvas and upload their image as an answer. Annotation is another interesting feature that I haven't felt the need to use, but it's something that you can try with your students. So you can upload an image and they can make notes or annotate on top of your image. Audio is a really innovative tool where it's something really different that you can try with your students, especially the ones who love to talk. You can ask them a question and they will be able to submit their answers in an audio format. So this is what it looks like. You type in the question, you save the question. So I'm going to go to a lesson that I've already created so that you know what it looks like. So once I click on my lesson, I've given the activity a title, my FA on bystander effect. I went to create a question and then it redirected me to this page. So I created, my first question is an open-ended question. I saved the question and then I created another question here. This is a multiple choice question. So there's different types of questions, different forms of questions, which makes the content engaging, the FA engaging. And my third question was an audio question. Give a brief description of the time you chose to help or not help a stranger. Why or why not? So you may choose to create additional questions, or once you're done, I've kept it short and sweet. I've saved it as a lesson plan. Once I save it as a lesson plan, it takes me back to my lessons page. So that's where it is. So it's in my lessons now, and it should be ready to launch at any time. So 10 minutes before my lesson, I will quickly go to my Spiral page and I will click on launch. The amazing part about Spiral is it links your Google Classroom account. So once you link your Google Classroom account, you can see all your classes here. Now you have the additional option of adding a class. So you don't need to link your Google Classroom, you can add your class. So what I've done here is I've added a trial class. Here I can give a name to my class, say Year 10 Psychology, and I choose a subject from the subject list. Now, since I've already created my class, I'm going to go to my trial class and I will launch the teacher-led session. Now, you may also set this as an assignment, and this goes for all of the tools within Spiral. So you can either launch a teacher-led lesson or you can set this as an assignment. So the start date is by default the current time that you're assigning, and the due date, you can enter in the date and the time as well. Now we're going to be looking at the launch feature because the set as assignment is fairly straightforward. So once we go into the launch teacher-led session, this is what the teacher screen will look like. Ask your students to visit gospiral.ac and join your quickfire using the code FRVAG. Now, this screen on my right will be the students' screen. So I'm going to go to gospiral.ac. And it's going to take me straight to the code page. So I'm going to enter in the code FRVAG, enter, and I need to enter my name. So students don't actually have to register. They don't have to create an account with Spiral to join your classes. They can just enter in the code and their name, and that's it. Here, they will get a notification that says join activity. I will join activity as a student. And if you see the teacher screen on the left, once the student joins, I'm able to see the student here. So this is what the teacher screen looks like on the left, and this is what the student screen looks like on the right. Now, there are some things that you need to explain to your students before you use Spiral. You need to mention clearly to them that they have to use their full first name, last name, however you would like. They also need to know that the class will not start. They will not be able to see anything on the screen unless everyone has joined. So this is something that you need to be very clear with them. So this is what the student's screen looks like. Pay attention to your teacher to hear the question. And this is what my screen looks like. Now, I will wait till all my students have joined in, and then I will click on Go. Once I click on Go, the lesson starts. And this is what the student's screen looks like. So I'm going to answer the question here. I'm going to click on Submit as a student, and it gives me a notification saying I've submitted the answer for the teacher to review. So as a teacher on the left, I will choose to reveal answer, and I usually choose to show names. So there's two options. So reveal the answers to see everyone's answers, and then show the names. And I see the student's name and their response. Accordingly, if I feel like they can improve their answer, I will click on improve. So if I click on improve, the student usually gets a notification saying they've been asked to improve their answer. So they might have to change some aspect, they might have to add something, whatever it's up to them to figure out how they can improve the answer. Just as an example, and they can submit it again. And if I feel like the answer looks better now, I will click on correct, and the student gets awarded a star. And once I've corrected all the students' work, I will go to the next question. So I will click on ask another question, which then takes the student to the multiple choice question page. So click on the right answer, submit, and on the teachers, so since the multiple choice question is there is a right answer for the multiple choice question, the teacher doesn't need to check it. If you've selected the right answer, you immediately get awarded a star automatically. So here as a teacher, I get to see all the names. So I can say show names, and then under each option, I can see the children who chose that option. That's it. Multiple choice question is very, very simple, very straightforward. So now I will move on to the next question, ask another question. This is my last question. Give a brief description of the time you chose to help or not help a stranger, why or why not. Now, on the students page, Chrome automatically asks to use your microphone. This is a bit tricky, and I don't really use this a lot because I understand that some students have problems with their microphones. However, if you do want to give them that option, they can always do so. They can click on allow, and then they can record their answers. So this is quick fire mode. Once I'm done, I will click on exit ticket, and the students can do a sort of self-assessment. Tell the teacher how well you understood the activity. I feel confident, I need more practice, too difficult. So accordingly, they might give a response. So say, I will click on I need more practice, and that's the response that comes in. So this will show the students' feedback. Those who feel confident will appear in green, those who need more practice in yellow, and too difficult in red. And you can see an overview of your lesson over here. Summary, those who got the answers right, what their answers were. And exit ticket is not the end of the lesson. Please remember that. You still need to go resume your session. Exit ticket you can use for each of the questions or each activity. If you want to finish your session, you will click on Finish Quickfire. Finish. And then this is how it appears on the students page. If you don't click on Finish Quickfire, the session still assumes it's running, so it might not take you to the last page. This is your last page, and this is what you need. This is the data from your lesson. How many questions in total were asked, how many responses were received, and what was the overall performance of the students. So how many you awarded stars. And here you will see all the answers by the students, list by question, list by student, and the grades table. So how many got the answers right? Here there's only one student as I logged in. And then you can print these answers. I usually like to print them and save them as a PDF. So this is a complete document of everyone's responses. And then I may review it later just to see who has gone wrong where and who needs more practice. So this is quickfire mode. So I'm going to go back to my home page and I'm going to quickly go through Discuss. Discuss is something that I use a lot because I primarily host my lessons using a presentation. So here you can either create an interactive presentation on Spiral itself. However, there's very few features, so I choose to use my existing presentations. So I can import these on Spiral. So once I click on import, click on upload, and I can upload any of my presentations. I can even upload a folder from Google Drive. Now I'm going to go to a lesson that I've already created on Discuss. So it takes you to, again, the Plan Your Lesson page where you give your activity a title. This is the title of my activity. And then since you have imported your presentation, it's already there. So you can make slight changes to your presentation. You can still add some text, images, all of that. One thing I like to do is I like to add a question. So I'm going to show you how this works a little later. So I add a question after or some instructions after each slide to make sure that the students are still with me. So after every slide, if there's no question on that slide, I just give a simple instruction such as type yes when ready. So they do type yes after they've finished reading. So over here, it would be type yes if read and understood, okay if unsure. And there are some slides where I do like to ask questions. So the main question here would be answer all 4 questions here. Now I will show you how this looks on the student screen. So this was my entire presentation. I can choose to add slides to this existing presentation. I can even choose to edit this presentation on Spiral. So now I'll show you what it looks like when I launch it. So now I'm launching it with my trial class. So I will go back. I'll enter the code. Enter my name. Here it gives me a notification saying there's an ongoing activity. Join activity. And then my name appears on the teacher screen. So once all my students have joined, I'm going to click on Go. And that's when the presentation starts for the student as well. Now, this can be a student-led presentation as well, where they have the option to go through the presentation at their own pace and answer all the questions. But I like it to be a teacher-led presentation so that I know that everyone is on the same is learning at the same pace or at the same time. So the main questions that I've typed out, type yes when ready, appear here. Type yes when ready. So then the student types yes, submit, I get the answer. So I reveal answer. I can even show names again, very similar. It's almost the same thing as the previous mode, quickfire. And then I click on correct. And then when everyone has clicked or typed in yes, I will move on to the next slide. So it will go on. So there's this slide where there were 4 questions. And my main instruction was answer all 4 questions here. So they'll have to type out all their answers here. So question number 1 answer, question 2 answer, question 3 answer, question 4 answer, and submit. Now I reveal answers and show names. So if I find that their answers may be wrong, I will click on improve, and maybe I will give them feedback a little later after the class or after this session, and then continue to next slide. So on and so forth. So this is what the discuss mode is. I can give them an exit ticket at the end just for them to assess how confident they feel about the content. If they feel confident, that's how it will appear. And I will resume my session, and then I will click on Finish Discuss. Again, click again. And it takes me to this page, so it gives me an overview of my lesson, and the student also gets an overview of their performance and all of the slides. Here, my last step is to print out all the students' responses, just like I did in Quickfire. So I get all their responses for each and every slide. That allows me to review later and see which student needs a little more practice. So now I'm going to go back to the home page, and we're going to look at the last tool, which is called Clip. This is very interesting. So this is very similar to the feature in Nearpod, where the teacher can start a video and it starts on the students' devices, and you play it, or the video is playing at the same time for everyone. The good thing that I like about Spiral is that you can ask questions. It's sort of like you can turn it into an FA, or you can turn it into a class where you want to engage them, you want to get their opinions. So you can search for a video. So you type in the activity title, bystander intervention. You get an option to search for a video from YouTube or Vimeo. So Vimeo is also a good video sharing website where you have a lot of good educational videos. So right now my link is from YouTube. So I'm going to type that in and I'm going to search. So mine is on YouTube, so I will click on YouTube. If your video is from Vimeo, you will click on Vimeo. Search. Now I will have to choose the right video. I suppose this is the right video. I'm going to check whether it is before I use this video. So I open it. And yes, it is the video that I want to use, that I want them to watch. So I'm going to use this video. Now I'm going to start playing the video.
One of the most powerful parables
and
in the Bible.
Where I want to ask them a question, I'm going to click on Add Question. So exactly on the 4th second, I want to ask them an open-ended question. So even here, I can choose from the type of question that I want to assign. Open-ended, quiz, poll, or discussion. Now the video continues. Say I would like them to answer a question right at the second. I will add another question and I'll take a poll. Do you think that this man will help the stranger in need? And I can add a choice. Yes, no. Save question and continue. So I can keep adding questions throughout the session. Once I'm done adding my questions, I save this as a lesson plan, and this gets saved under my lessons here. When I'm ready to take the class, I'm going to launch, and the same steps as before. I go into my trial class, I launch it, and I share the code with the students. And then I wait for them to join in, and then we all start watching the video together. So this is Spiral, and I really hope that it helps you to create more interactive and engaging classes. Thank you.